Hi everybody, Dan Ilman here taking a look at the late pick 4 at Century Mile on Saturday. It's Canadian Derby Day at Century Mile, and they're going to offer a $50,000 guaranteed pool in the late pick 4 comprising races 8 through 11. In this sequence, I'll throw some opinions out there, won't necessarily give out any specific picks. Of course, we are before scratches, program changes, track conditions. Use them, throw them out, do what you'd like with them. But here are some opinions on horses I'm interested in playing in this pick 4 with a $50,000 guaranteed pool. We'll throw up the field for race number 8. This is a condition claiming race. $6,000 is the purse. Non-winners of 2 Life is the condition. And the number 11 on the outside, High Kelly Song, looks pretty logical to me. This horse has exceeded the Beyer par for this class level in 2 of his last 3 races, both of them sprinting. The only time he couldn't get to the par was when he went a mile, a distance that's probably just a little bit too long for this horse. Now, last time out, I think he was held up behind a pretty slow pace. I know it went 44 and 4 to the half. They go fast at Century Mile. I think that pace held up. High Kelly Song might have been compromised just a little bit. I think he can get into position from this outside post, and if he can run back to his buyers as he drops from the $15,000 beaten to this condition claimer, he just looks like a really solid contender against this group. How about the 4 First Base, who's 10 to 1 on the morning line, or dropping slightly from the $8,000 2 Lifes to the $6,000? According to the Timeform US past performances, they color-coded that pink. They thought the track was favoring speed last time, and First Base tried to rally from out of it at a big price, and actually did quite well, finishing 3rd with a career-best 50 Beyer speed figure. First Base fits well at this class level. His recent Beyer speed figure approached the par for this level, and he might be ignored at the windows. It seems like he has a price each and every time. The number 1 Pump the Brakes to me is one of the more interesting runners. He ran at Century Mile and was actually a maiden winner here over the spring. He was put in 2 very tough spots after that on wet tracks. He didn't run well. They sent him out of town. He's been running at longer distances. He's getting a huge class drop. He has speed in the inside post, and he's going to be a big price. Must he improve from a Beyer standpoint? Certainly he does, but he does have speed in the rail, and I think this little class relief is going to work for him. I believe he has some upside potential. This looks like one of the tougher races in the entire sequence. The 11 High Kelly Song certainly fits. I think First Base last time out was against the bias. Pump the Brakes has a little bit of early speed. You could use a horse like the 2 Brady the Boss if you believe that this pace is going to be fast. He's likely going to be rallying from out of it, but I'm comfortable with the 11, the 4, and the 1. Race number 9 is the Century Mile Handicap. It's $100 grander, and it features a horse likely to be one of the favorites of the entire sequence. That's the number 1, Soy Tapatio. And how many times have we seen this in the past? Trainer Robertino Diodoro ships one up from the States, and they just make hay in these races in Western Canada. This horse won the Manitoba Mile by open lengths at odds on last time out with a sterling 91 Beyer speed figure. And if he repeats that performance, they're all going to be running for second money. He's the horse to beat, and is a horse that's going to be singled on a lot of tickets. If you do want to try to beat him, or if you do want to try to use a horse underneath in single race exotics, how about the 2 At Attention? I don't think this horse is out of it. He earned an 81 Beyer at Hastings 2 starts back. He was very game to win that race, game to win 3 back. And last time out against stakes competition, there wasn't a lot of pace in that race. They went 24 for the opening quarter. He sat just off, and as usual, he tried very hard to just miss. This horse is going to give you a try every single time. He's run well at Century in the past, and he has tactical speed. Soy Tapatio is way the horse to beat. At Attention is a horse that you may want to consider at a little bit of a price. Race number 10 is the big one. It's the Grade 3 Canadian Derby. $200,000 is the purse, and once again, it appears that Diodoro has a strong hand. He has the Manitoba Derby winner, Red Knobs, a horse he claimed for $50,000 at Churchill Downs 2 starts back, and Red Knobs just really appreciated the company and the distance at Assiniboia last time out. That race a mile and an eighth. Of course, the Canadian Derby at a mile and a quarter. Red Knobs got right up close to the pace, finished it off without much fuss. He just looks like he's a new horse with Diodoro, and he always had a little bit of class, graded stakes race at Churchill Downs early in his career. I've been a big fan of the other Diodoro, the 3 Great Escape. I liked what I saw from him at Churchill when he was with his other connections. He came up in his first start. He was a little bit rank early, and he pulled, and he ended up finishing second behind Pray for Peace, who's also in this race. And last time out, again, he showed good early speed. I thought he went quick on the lead. He was just no match for Red Knobs. Now, he's likely going to be one of the pace protagonists in this race. Can he get away with an easy lead? That's one of the major questions of this race, because I do think there's some other speed. I think it's too early to give up on Great Escape. He is still eligible for a Now Winners of 2 Life, but I do think he has some quality, and I think he can explode to his career best Beyer speed figure in his 3rd start of the form cycle. If you think the Diodoros are vulnerable, let me try to convince you on the 4 Gunfighter. And Gunfighter has been the beaten favorite in his last 3 races. And I can understand anyone that says he's a money burner, he's 1 for 11 with more seconds and thirds than wins. I don't want anything to do with Gunfighter. I think Gunfighter has excuses for some of those last races. Sure, he doesn't have speed, but he was at the mercy of pace in most of those races. They just didn't set up very well for Gunfighter. He tried hard. Maybe he hung just a little bit, but he's going to get some pace, and I think 1.25 miles is going to be right up this horse's alley. He's a good price on the morning line. Consider Gunfighter, although Red Knobs, the horse to beat. Great Escape might be coming on the upside. Gunfighter will be running in the stretch. And the anchor leg of this pick 4 with a $50,000 guaranteed pool is the Century Casino Oaks, race number 11, going 1.125 miles, and Burrow Down, the number 3, is going to be the horse to beat. She was claimed for $30,000 out of a maiden race at Oaklawn Park. She shipped up to Assiniboia. She won 3 in a row, all by open lengths. And if she repeats any one of those races, she's going to be very tough. Now, she's going to have to do it at Century Mile, not at Assiniboia, but her figures are just very strong. If you want to look for an upset, the 8 You Did It is very interesting to me. She began her career like a potential star. She won her first 4 races, all of them with sprint distances. She did win at 1.16 miles at Hastings 2 starts back, and last time out she just didn't break very well. She was way behind the field. She tried to make a move into the teeth of the pace, and then she ended up finishing 3rd as the beaten favorite. That 44 Beyer speed figure is going to make her price a lot more generous, I think, than it should be on Saturday, because she had a lot of trouble in that race, and she likes to win races. Never off the board from 7 starts. So the horse to beat is Burrow Down, the 3. Keep an eye on the 8. You Did It. It's a $50,000 guaranteed pool in the late pick 4 at Century Mile on Saturday. Good luck.